Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. My cuz says I look fantastic. It makes my aunt happy, so I guess I'm just going to keep putting on this suit because I want Aunt to be happy. So let's get into the topics today. First off is Collider. Got I guess it's exclusive. The Lord of the Rings is getting the animated treatment again with a new film titled The War of the, and I think I'm going to butcher this, Rohirrim. Rohirrim? I think that's how you say it. But anyway, there's going to be a new anime film for that. It's getting the anime treated again. And honestly, this is just what Middle-earth was missing. After all, the first adaptations of J.R.R. Tolkien's legendary work were animated features, so this is the franchise coming full circle. Or as George Lucas would say, it's like poetry. It rhymes. The standalone anime feature is said to focus on one of the most legendary figures in Middle-earth history, the ninth king of Rohan, Helm Hammerhand, and the film will expand on the story of the fortress that bears King Hammerhand's name, Helm's Deep. The Lord of the Rings War, the War of the Rohirrim, and someone's going to say, it's called Rohirrim. It's Rohirrim, Yeah, I'll definitely get corrected. Will be directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who started as an animator in such classic films as Jinro the Wolf Brigade, love the anime movie, and Akira, one of the best anime movies of all time. He's best known for directing the cult classic anime series Ghost in the Shell, of course, Standalone Complex, Jeffrey Addis, and Will Matthews. The incredibly underrated Dark Crystal Age of Resistance will write the screenplay, while Oscar winner Philippa Boyens, who co-wrote the original Lord of the Rings movies, will return to consult on the project. And that's pretty much all they have about that. But they're saying Warner Bros. Animation and New Line Cinema are putting a lot of weight on this project, as the press release states that it is being fast-tracked for the big screen. Oh, it's going to the big screen! Indeed, animation work and voice casting is already underway, with the former being at Studio Sola Entertainment. Rick and Morty, the god of high school. Whoa, okay, alright, so it's going to the big screen. I did not know that. Now, I thought it was going to be some animated series. Well, it said film, but I thought it was going to show up on Amazon or something. But no, this is going to be an animated movie for the big screen. That's amazing. That's amazing. I can't wait to see the trailer of this. Is going to be, well, obviously if it's Akira, and then that's kind of 2D animation, although Ghost in the Shell had some CG elements to it, both digital art, but most of it is anime, right? It's not exactly computer animated, but maybe this one may be different. Let's wait and see. All right, moving on. It's kind of an animation magic happening this morning because of Netflix Geeked. Kevin Smith actually released the first teaser of his He-Man. By the power of Grayskull, here's the teaser for our Masters official series made by the geniuses at Powerhouse Anim and Mattel Television, premiering on Netflix July 23rd. Your old toys are exactly where you left them, kids, and we took really good care of them. Now, they have a hero song here that I think may be copyright, so I'm not going to play it, but basically it's looking fantastic. I really like it. I like the music that they chose for. Yeah, it's nostalgia, not nostalgia, but it's a music you heard before, right? We need a hero. So, but it's put together and very poppy. I like it. The animation is absolutely great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this new He-Man. And really, they're really making him. They're updating it. They're not changing it that much, if at all, and they're updating it, but looking the same, exactly the same how it was before. Although it's kind of good that Adam is smaller than He-Man, because it really didn't make sense, because Adam looked almost the same size as He-Man. We just wasn't tan as He-Man in the original animated series, but now it's a little bit different. And that's good. That's quite good. But yeah, this looks fantastic. Eager to see this animated series. Is coming out on Netflix on July 23rd. And maybe this time my kids get to grow up with He-Man as how I've grown up with He-Man and She-Ra. So that'd be kind of cool. Hopefully it's just as good and as impactful, I would say. I mean, there's so much animation nowadays. It's hard to have that same impact as cartoons that everybody's watching. That's like the only cartoon out at that time, so it may be not as impactful. But it's great to see this come back now. So great on Kevin Smith. This looks pretty awesome. All right, Netflix Geek Ed has got more announcements, and this time we're finally getting an announcement of Zack Snyder's upcoming Norse mythology-inspired series. Twilight of the Gods is what they're calling it. A gigantic cast, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this because of the people that are going to make this. Not only Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder, and Jay Oliva, but the animation studio that's going to make this, and that's going to be on my genre etc. video that comes out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But that's awesome. So Zack Snyder's new IP over on Netflix, his big project is Twilight of the Gods. All right, as we move forward, we get into more Zack Snyder. Apparently, Jason Momoa was on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show, and he talked a little bit about the Snyder Cut. He says, "I love Zack, and that's kind of what I signed up for 8 years ago, is to have his vision." He expresses his love for the Snyder Cut of Justice League Fallon Tonight. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Justice League, the Snyder Cut, the director's cut, came out during quarantine. 4 hours, by the way. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I was going to ask you, what did you think of it?
I mean, listen, I love Zack, and that's kind of what I signed up for, 8 years ago, is to have his vision. And you know, the cool thing about that 4-hour piece is that I didn't reshoot anything. Like, that was all there. So it's interesting when people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I really love this, and it was so detailed and it explained so much." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we went and shot. I didn't have to redo anything." So, you know, because of the tragedy, and you know, I'm happy we made one, but I'm really happy that we got to release his art, and a lot of fans are happy. And
yes,
and the truth of it is, I like the 4 hours, and normally we watch shows that are, you know, it's just a 4-part series. So I like the extended and spending time with the characters. So
Justice League,
4-part series. Arc, complete his arc. Well, you know we haven't completed his arc, right, Jason? Right? We haven't yet, you know. And sometimes I feel like because he's going to be on Aquaman and he's still working for the studio, that he's kind of just tiptoeing around his words a little bit in sort of a way to just, you know, try to play the politics a little bit, because he's very much aware that Warner Brothers does not want to continue that vision. Obviously, and you know, he has to, because he's got a career ahead of him, and he's gonna be in the next Aquaman movie and stuff like that. So he's gonna have to just play it carefully in terms of that. So, but it's great to see that he did love it. He liked it, and it's great to see that Jimmy Fallon actually said he loved it. That was really good as well. So that's cool. It's great to see the Snyder Cut being once again being actually talked about on. You know, I'm still reeling from, like, every time we hear some celebrity or talk show that talk about a Snyder Cut, is like, oh man, it's so out in the open. Remember that time when it wasn't out in the open and we were just crazy fans thinking it existed, and it did, and thinking that we're the crazy ones, but now it's out in the open, it's released. What a life. What a way we're living right now. All right, well, since we're talking about Jason Momoa, apparently James Wan decided to release the title of the next Aquaman movie. So this is a production meeting. It was today. They put it on Instagram. There was also a shot of him wearing a mask. I don't have that picture brought up, but had that on the background. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That's the name of the next movie. Aquaman 2 is called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and in that release, it's expected that Jason Momoa, of course, is going to be back. Patrick Wilson, who actually also, Instagrammed out The Tide is Rising, of course, he will be back. That's cute. And also, it's also expected that Amber Heard will also be back as Mera, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen probably for Black Manta, and so on and so forth. So they're all coming back for the next Aquaman movie. And probably is going to have another conflict between the two brothers, as hinted here with Patrick Wilson's what he was talking about here. But the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I'm going to tell you, like, what does that mean? There's another kingdom that's involved here? Well, the Aquaverse put this out. The sequel title refers to the seven seas of fallen Atlantis. DC's New 52 Aquaman added the trench to the established kingdoms of Zebel and the Atlantean capital. The movie brought the deserters, fishermen, and brine, but one remained unrevealed, shrouded in mystery: the Lost Kingdom. The film's working title, Necros, or City of the Dead, may in fact be the Lost Kingdom's true name. If so, this certainly fits with the horror elements James Wan is sure to bring to the sequel. So maybe more of that horror element. I mean, we got a little bit of that horror element for in the first movie in terms of, you know, the trench monsters. But that was about it. You know, pretty much it was a fun, nice romp adventure through different, you know, the desert to the ocean and things like that. But missing a lot of the horror elements, and I really wanted to see that because James Wan always talked about, we're trying to bring the horror. It's horror, it's sea monsters and stuff like that. In the way the beginning of in production when he was talking about Aquaman, and then it slowly became a little bit more lighthearted, of course, probably because of Jeff Johns. But you know, if this time he's like, you know what, I was able to prove that I can make it a $1 billion movie for this franchise here. I can promise you the next one, it's going to be how more the long lines I want to make it. And in this case, the horror elements is there. City of the Dead, the Lost Kingdom, could definitely be something pretty scary, right? And dark, deep waters. And has to potentially present a challenge to Aquaman, because if he can just communicate with fish, then it wouldn't make no difference. But he can't communicate with the dead, maybe, and so maybe that would pose a challenge to Aquaman himself in that respect. And so if that's the case, that's pretty awesome. I think a little bit excited to see what will come with Lost Kingdom, and if at all, will it fit together with this whole Snyderverse, or is it going to go off its own tangent? I believe Zack Snyder believes that it's going to go on its own tangent, which could be the case. But I wonder what James Wan, his idea would have been. But I want to pull this up because Frank Viewology tweeted this out, which means Wan is going to follow this story from Snyder's storyboards. Wan is continuing the Snyderverse. Really? What? So he's referring to the original storyboards here, and he circled it for us. He said, in the oceans, this is during Justice League 2, before Justice League 2. In the oceans, Aquaman and Mera bring the final kingdom of the seven, the unseen, into their alliance. For the first time since Atlantis sank, it is once again united. Okay, so if the Lost Kingdom is the seventh kingdom, in which case you're saying it's the unseen kingdom, then does that mean it's kind of following along the lines of the Snyderverse? Like it could fit, it could tuck right in before Justice League 2. Is that what we're trying to say here? If that's the case, that's really interesting. That even if it's a way, if the Justice League 2 never happened, or you know, if they weren't even expecting it to, but it shows up later, it could still tie in the movies that came out in theaters in terms of that, like you know, like the Lost Kingdom, if that's the case, right? Aesthetically, okay, it looks different. We get that. Aesthetically, it's going to look different. But story-wise, maybe it could actually kind of fit. Just like if Wonder Woman 3 truly goes back to Themyscira, just like how Wonder Woman arrived in Themyscira in that beginning part right here. This first part, Wonder Woman and Menelope. Of course, Menelope is not there in the original Zack Snyder, in Zack Snyder's Justice League. They arrive in Themyscira. She wanted to go back home to Themyscira. And so maybe that movie fits right there. Wonder Woman 3, Themyscira. And Aquaman, Lost Kingdom. That's not bad. That's not bad. I wonder if the other ones could fit right in between now and whenever Justice League 2, if it happens, and I'm hoping it does, which will be a few years away. You know, it's not going to be that quick. We're going to be a few years away. Enough time for all these little movies to go in between that, you know, just it kind of in a way, just like how it was meant to go. Although it was supposed to have to like 1 and then Justice League, but this is 1 and 2, you know, Aquaman 1 and 2, and then Justice League 2. That could still happen. But I thought that was interesting, and maybe, you know, just a little bit Hopefully this means like fate, and somehow the pieces are slowly falling into place regardless of what has happened before. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Other things were in that Hollywood Reporter article about James Wan's new Aquaman Lost Kingdom is that there was like a little sentence saying what all the films that were apparently in works. And they talked about Batgirl, Blue Beetle, things like that. And they also say that Supergirl film is in the works. Now, Supergirl film has been in the work for a while. Oren Uziel, which I did a new Supergirl editorial. If you want to check that out, it's right over here. Of course, at that time, I did not know Sasha Calle was going to be Supergirl in the Flash movie. But it still had the the information about Oren Uziel's Supergirl movie that he was still writing. And when you go to IMDb on Oren Uziel, you'll still see that he has Supergirl still he's still credited as for Supergirl, an announced Supergirl script, right? So is he still going to be involved in this? I don't know. Sasha Calle is apparently still being involved in this. The other thing is because Batgirl is going to be on HBO Max Original. Are they thinking that Supergirl will end up on the HBO Max original as well? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited to see that Sasha Calle here. I don't know how if she's fantastic in The Flash, then, people are going to get excited for the next Supergirl movie. And maybe that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting to see how people react to her coming out of the Flash movie. And so, but I keep remembering when she was announced as Supergirl, she was so excited. She was crying and stuff. So cute. I think, it's really heartwarming. I feel like, regardless, I hopefully she does a good job and she deserves a fair shot at that. So that's awesome. Congratulations, Sasha Calle, once again. Also in that line of things that are in development, they also said Green Lantern Corps movie is still in development as well. And that has been on and on for a long time, ever since David Goyer was on board with that. He was going to do the Lethal Weapon in space, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart in space, and all that kind of stuff. And that could be where it actually connects to the Green Lantern Corps series that's coming out on HBO Max. Because it's a series doesn't have the core Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart. So we're thinking that because they don't have the core ones there, then that means would be the spin-off or the tie-in to the actual movie, which is the Green Lantern Corps that they were developing for a long time now. I think even Jeff Johns was writing it. We don't know what's happening with that. There's no movement other than it's still in quote-unquote development. But things could change. But it's funny to see all that Batgirl, Supergirl, all this stuff that was years ago announced, still in development, and there is no other word on that. So let's see what happens next. As we go forward, I want to address this rumor. We talked about a rumor where some dude on Reddit said that he's part of the production team and he saw apparently Henry Cavill's on set and shooting Black Adam. DC Verso put this out, and it's heating up. Rumor is Atlanta Filming claims Henry Cavill was spotted on the set of Black Adam. The scene that we're filming is a flashback, one so far from when Krypton hadn't exploded yet. And you're like, wait, what? Why would he be in a flashback where Krypton hasn't exploded? Because that means there is no Krypton and there's no Superman. Why? What does that mean? And someone suggested, Dr. Fate maybe brought them back in time and stuff like that. Well, yeah, it's kind of cool. But what does that mean? And I'm like, who's Atlanta Filming? What is that? Who's that? So I found the tweet. I found the Atlanta Filming tweet. And he said this. And apparently he is a paparazzi. So he's like one of those people who goes to these filming sites, just like this one. And he goes and takes pictures of stuff. So he says, there is a rumor Superman was on set for Black Adam earlier in the week. The scene they have been filming is a flashback. They flashed so far back, Krypton hadn't exploded. Flashback. DJ hasn't even been here. What? Dwayne Johnson hasn't even been here. So Dwayne Johnson is not there. But see, so people are looking at that, and I'm like, it's worded weird. So when you first read it, you're like, okay, there's a rumor was on set for Black Adam early in the week. Meaning he heard a rumor. Then the scene they have been filming is a flashback. So it's almost like saying Superman's in the flashback. Right? So that doesn't make sense. Well, Jet Bartz who's from Geek Worldwide. He suggested, look, Black Adam was always expected to have flashbacks to Egyptian times. The fandom teasers tease it. Of course, it would be before Krypton exploded. Now, I'm not confirming Henry rumors are true. All I'll say is movies film scenes out of order or such, so it could be plausible. What I'm saying, it's possible to film an Egyptian flashback scene while also filming a scene that could feature Superman. It doesn't necessarily mean Superman is in that Egyptian scene. Oh, so that makes sense. So that means he could be there, but they're shooting in town, they're shooting flashback and they're shooting Superman maybe later, or he's just on set. You don't know. That's the confusing part. People are running with this rumor thing. But Atlanta Filming actually clarified. Apparently, Cavill Superman fans have never read the comics. I stated Superman was not on set before Krypton means Superman doesn't even exist. Okay. But, you did say it wrong. I mean, you should have said, there is a rumor Superman was on set for Black Adam early week, but that's not true. You should add that in. Because people, a lot of people maybe not very good in fluent in English, and they ran it. A lot of internationals ran that. And, of course, so you have confused a lot of people. But thank you for coming out and saying, look, I say Superman was not on set before Krypton means Superman doesn't even exist. Okay, so obviously you've been around there. So obviously he's trying to say that all they have been shooting this prior week was a flashback scene. That means Superman would not be in that scene. That doesn't mean that Superman can't be in a scene later on, but I think he's trying to squash the rumor that Henry Cavill was on set earlier this week. Because earlier this week, they were shooting a flashback to the Egyptian scene, and obviously that wouldn't have Superman in it. Is what he should have said. But, there was a few hours of confusion and excitement and things like that. But, yeah, calm down. So not yet. I'm still thinking that it's probably, and the most probable likely, that Superman, Henry Cavill, will show up in Black Adam. But like all things, we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Well, that is it for tonight's show. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.